the first book I ever published was very much a hot mess. I only had one beta reader, again, because I didn't have any writing friends yet. I only had one, and he read it. He gave feedback. But if you had never wrote a book, always get one beta reader. If you've already written multiple books, then you know one's not enough. So that was the first mistake I did. First mistake number 1. Only had one beta reader. Mistake number 2, which was the biggest mistake. One of the biggest mistakes besides the beta read. The second biggest mistake with that book was I did not get the right genre. So at the time, I had the idea that anything that had to do with relationships or spicy scenes was romance. I know. It was a big fail on my part. What I learned, though, was that romance is a happy ending. And that book did not give a happy ending per se. It was more like a bittersweet ending. It was very much about empowerment. And that's kind of where I messed up, was that I ran it as a romance instead of like women's fiction. That's where I messed up. So when I got reviews on it, people are expecting this romance, and that's not what it was. Which leads me into mistake number 3. Really, mistake number 3 really should have been mistake number 2. Now that I'm going down my list. Mistake number 3, the cover gave off a romance vibe. Again, this is rookie mistakes. I had no help at all. I was in no writing groups at this time. Had I been, I would have done a lot of things differently with this book, had I been in them. But I actually did not join writing groups until like a few months after I'd published it. And that's when I kind of was like, I made some drastic mistakes. So the cover was one. That was a big one. The fourth one is I didn't have a lot of editors. Like, I didn't have a copy editor at all. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. I had like a proofreader, but that was about all I had. Now, if you've ever done, like, you've written a book and everything else, everyone kind of knows that proofreaders don't do the jobs of copy editors. Not usually. So naturally, my proofreader, she didn't think anything of it. She's like, okay, this has already been whatever, so she, did the job and whatever. And again, I had no idea at all. So it was a hot mess. It really was a hot mess, from like not having like, only having one beta reader, to the cover being wrong, to the genre being wrong, to not having any like a copy editor. Again, these were all rookie mistakes. And they were big mistakes. So naturally, when I put the book out on Amazon, it didn't get very many reads because at that point I hadn't built up my ARC team yet on Book Sirens. Because I use Book Sirens for ARCs, which I'll get into another video. How to get ARCs and all that good stuff. That'll be the next video. How about that? So when I put the book on Book Sirens, I didn't have a lot of followers yet. Because again, you build up to that. Again, I'll get in the next video. So all I had really was, I think, like 6 or 7 ARC readers on there. Maybe not even that. I don't think I even had that many. So when I put it on Amazon, I really only had like 6 or 7 reviews. Now, if you're a math person, you know that 6 or 7 reviews is very small number. And one 2 or 3 star review can drag that number down drastically when there's very little amount to begin with. So that book ended up being like, I think, a 3.2, a 3.3 on Amazon with reviews because there wasn't that many. I made a lot of mistakes. So I drastically learned from that. Right now, so about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I took it off Amazon. The goal is to remarket it the way it should have been marketed from the get-go. So it's getting a whole new cover. It's even getting a new title. I even messed up on the title because even the title gives off romance vibes. Again, that was kind of a rookie mistake, but if I'm being honest, when I initially wrote that book, it was not meant. When I initially thought of the book, it was supposed to be like a cute little romance. Everybody lives like happy ever after, like with glitter and stars and unicorns. But as I started writing the book and I started getting more into it, the more I'm like, that's not what this is feeling like. Well, by that time, I was already so stuck on my title and everything else, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So from then, I pretty much was like, okay, we're just gonna, go with this. It looks great, whatever, okay? Again, rookie mistakes, okay? So now I'm remarketing it, or I'm trying to remarket it, but I have to get more beta readers on it this time. I'm going to get it copyrighted on it this time. I'm working on a new title, which the title's pretty much done, I think. It's very empowering, the title. The cover's pretty much done. It's pretty common for like women's literature. The cover's pretty, standard for that. So I think cover-wise and title-wise, I'm covered there. But I am going to have to go back out and market it again the way it should have been marketed from the get-go. So take it from me. Do not make those same mistakes that I made. So yeah, just do not make the same mistakes I made. I'm not going to really touch that book too much until after my series is over because I really need to get that done. So I figured that after I get my series done and I kind of take a little bit of a breather because I don't really have anything else on my plate. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. In terms of new books, I'm going to really work that one and throw it back out there on Amazon. But yeah, those are like the biggest mistakes. So do not make those same mistakes I did. Please do not. Do not, do not, do not. And next week, I'll talk about ARC readers because we talked about beta readers last week. Okay, now we're going to talk about the readers that can make it or break it. So tune in for next week on that little video because you're going to want to hear about that. All right, see you next week. And if you like what you see, make sure you click subscribe. Bye.